The BEACN products are here. I can finally show you them. After all of your comments asking where the reviews are, where the products are, they were supposed to launch last year. We've got mixers and microphones and audio gear, oh my, in today's video. This video is brought to you by Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to click my link in the video description will get a free 1-month trial to Skillshare today. I'm EposVox, the stream professor, and a little audio company by the name of BEACN has been kind of generating hype on the interwebs for the past year or so, as being a team built of a lot of members who previously worked at TC Helicon and had to leave because reasons, and went and started their own startup company and wanted to make high quality audio gear for content creators and streamers. We finally get to take a look at it. I can't do a full review yet, but I finally get to unbox it and show it to you. So first and foremost, we've got the BEACN Mic, we've got the BEACN Mix, and we've got the BEACN Mix Create. Now there's some nuance and discussion to be had with the mixes, and we're going to talk about those separate, but most of the hype that I've seen in the comments of people asking me, like, you know, to check them out and to give information about it and things like that, has been about the microphone. So we're going to start with this. As mentioned, BEACN is formed by former TC Helicon employees who worked on the Go XLR. So the entire goal here is to make audio products that are not built for music studios or any of that nonsense, but specifically to make product for streamers and content creators. And with that, they have their first microphone here, which they're just calling the BEACN Mic. That doesn't leave a whole lot of room for additional models. And this is a USB microphone, surprisingly. So you can see here, we have a what's in the box about the USB cable and connectivity for that. But they actually decided to go with a USB mic. So despite the fact that their previous product was the Go XLR, most of their products here are very much Go USB, which I think is very interesting. So we have a nicely and interestingly coiled USB Type-C cable here. Very nice. We have a 3.5 millimeter audio extension cable here. Put a lot of work into this unboxing experience. They very much wanted this experience preserved. Now I get to show it to you. They have a USB Type-C to A connector in case your computer does not have a USB Type-C port. Then we have the microphone itself. So it's available in black and white. I had them surprise me with a combination of the black and the white for their various accessories. And I believe that's really all that's in the box that we need to worry about. Yeah, that's literally all that's in the box. It's a nice box. I don't know why that experience was supposed to be so, like, packaging is packaging. So here we have the microphone itself. Now you may be thinking that this looks like a familiar format, very resemblant of the Shure SM7B. But there are some noted differences. It doesn't have the like thicker to skinnier kind of design of the SM7B or the MV7. It is just a straight cylinder. This ring around it, which a lot of you may be rolling your eyes at least once we get to review it, you'll see why it's not that big of a deal. We'll talk about that in a moment. Of course, we have the windscreen. I honestly don't know. Ooh, okay. I can just unscrew it, it looks like. There we go. So that is just a pure windscreen. Oh, no, there's some metal under this. Yeah, it looks like there's some clips that you could remove the windscreen, but then we get a look at the capsule. That is actually a fairly big capsule. This is a dynamic microphone, by the way. So it's a USB microphone, but it is a dynamic microphone. Now, if you're unfamiliar, the difference between a dynamic and a condenser microphone, which are the two styles you'll typically encounter for streaming, podcasting, content creation, and the like, a condenser microphone is powered by what's called phantom power, which just means active voltage is sent to the capsule to make it very sensitive to sounds, whereas dynamic microphones are basically activated by the power of the sound waves hitting them. Dynamic microphones are a lot better at noise rejection, background sound rejection, things like that, but they may not sound quite as natural. Then, of course, we have the yoke here, which allows you full adjustment. That is a very tight but screw-on adapter for attaching it to a mic stand or arm. That does not feel good at all compared to the SM7B or the other microphones recently that have launched with it. And then you do have a little cable routing clip here, which is really nice. And then on the back, you just have two ports, the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and the USB Type-C connectivity. So the ring on it here, obviously, cable goes into cable port. I don't need to explain that to you. The interesting part of the ring here is this is a fully addressable RGB LED ring, but it's one specifically designed, like they went through countless revisions to get it to where it is completely unoffensive. The goal is to primarily provide status indicators, mute, peaking, clipping, whatever. not to be some big blasted rainbow unicorn vomit RGB fest. So it's designed to barely even show up on camera, basically, and to just be super tasteful and to provide feedback for you. And I think it's pretty sick. Also, I'm fairly certain, as any competent software would, although I have not tested it yet, of course, that it will let you turn it off. Now, I will say I got the white one here. I asked them to surprise me. I already have a couple scratches on the yoke, and I have not even, you can't really see it on camera, so that's fine. But like, I got a couple black marks already, which is going to bother a lot of people who like having their stuff minty fresh. I don't care. It's a microphone. All right, so that's the microphone. I really don't have much to tell you beyond that. I am a little annoyed, like on the box, and this is the only paperwork that comes with it. They don't even give you any information about it. No specs or anything like that. It's a little weird. I can, however, provide you some information about the microphone that they have released publicly so we can have a discussion about it. Again, this is a USB dynamic microphone, which is awesome. I have requested that more of these exist for a very long time. And for those of you a couple years ago who saw my hints about a USB dynamic microphone in the works and coming, this was the one I was referring to. It just took a little longer to get here than expected, mostly due to shortages and pandemic and, you know, all the reasons everything else takes forever. This is a dynamic microphone, connects via USB Type-C, although it is, as you may have noticed from the USB adapter, it is only USB 2.0, as most audio devices is. Totally fine. That's all you need. The amazing stuff here is actually on the inside of this part of the microphone itself. It has an onboard DSP, which is a digital signal processor. It is a more powerful DSP than is in the Go XLR and allows you to do some crazy stuff. You have the built-in post-processing stuff like EQ, compressor, and all that, but it has real-time adaptive noise suppression, which from what I've heard from the beta testers is actually pretty amazeballs. We'll see how it compares to the likes of RTX voice and RN noise and things like that, but it's supposed to be absolutely rock solid for noise suppression. You obviously have the entire processing chain for the microphone, and it captures audio from the capsule in a 32-bit float bit depth, which is, I have a couple of videos I will point you to for more information on the Zoom F6 and the audio Sound Devices Mix Pre 3 Mark II audio recorders, but 32-bit float takes the audio signal in what is basically considered like raw audio format. It means within the electrical capacity of the microphone, you cannot clip or distort the microphone. The dynamic range is something like 112 decibels of dynamic range, in that you can be super quiet and, you know, fire gunshots for the most part, and will not clip this microphone in terms of the internal processing. Now, from what I understand, you may not be capturing it in your system at 32-bit float. Also, OBS doesn't support that anyway, so that's fine. But all of the post-processing is done in there, which means as long as you have it set up right, you literally cannot clip, peak, distort this microphone, which is huge. Now, this is kind of similar to the Elgato Wave clip guard that I talked about that's in their Wave XLR and their Wave microphone. This is a little bit of a different approach. The way the clip guard feature basically uses what's called a safety track and just records at 20 decibels lower than your main track. And if you peak on your first track, it'll switch over to your second track to keep you from clipping. However, you could still clip that, and it's not perfect. 32-bit float is technically the better way to do it, even if you may not notice the difference. Like, the end result is still similar in the idea, but it means that you're never going to be able to clip it if you get real quiet and compress it up or limit it up, or if you get really loud and have to compress it down, your sound quality will remain the same. There won't be an increased noise floor in terms of the electrical noise of the microphone. You'll still have your room noise that might get brought up, but this is game-changing to have in a USB microphone, assuming it plays out. It also captures at a 96 kilohertz sample rate, if you at all care about that, which most streamers and content creators shouldn't. All of the post-processing for the microphone is done inside the microphone. It does not use CPU cycles, anything like that, which is gonna be bonkers. Theoretically, if you set it up once with your software, you can then pass it along to another computer or setup, and all of those settings remain intact. We'll see if that is the case once we review it. And it'll be interesting to see if it works with consoles like that or anything like that. And that also means for Linux streamers, if you say boot up this microphone in Windows in a virtual machine or dual boot or something like that and apply the settings in the software, then you can boot back into Linux and still be good to go, which would be pretty cool. But again, we still have to review all of this. This is just telling you specs right now. All right, so that wraps up the talk for the microphone. That was the main meat and potatoes of their releases. But we got two more boxes to open up here. You know what else we need to open up? This segue to our sponsor, Skillshare. Cool audio gear is just the start of your creative journey. There's a lot of work that goes into planning and executing a great YouTube channel or live stream. Even now, I'm trying to improve. I've also been trying to make 2022 a year of learning and growing, pursuing new creative passions, starting new channels, and learning new skills.
You can do that too with our sponsor, Skillshare. If you have a specific skill you're trying to learn or a new hobby you'd like to pursue, Skillshare is the perfect place to start. From photography and illustration to graphic design, freelancing, and more, you can find classes that will match your goals and interests. If you want to do content creation like myself, you may be interested in Marquez Brownlee's Intro to YouTube course. It's great. The first 1,000 people to use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. That way you can get a head start on learning and see what's available. Skillshare is ad-free to help you focus and has new premium classes launched each week, so your curiosity can always be satisfied. Again, that's a 1-month free trial just for my viewers, linked below.
So BEACN is actually launching with 3 products, not just the microphone. And that's excluding the cute little plushie of their logo mascot thing, which is cute. They also are releasing 2 audio controllers. These are not mixers. They are audio controllers. They actually have no I/O, and we're going to take a look at what these are. But they are the BEACN Mix and the BEACN Mix Create. So here we have the box for the BEACN Mix. The BEACN Mix and the BEACN Mix Create are effectively 2 tiers of the same product. From what I understand about them, I personally find the BEACN Mix to not be a super valuable offering, but we will take a look here. I love the printing on the inside of the packaging here. I already have the entire screen of mine has completely busted off. Nice. So that's a great start. I guess we'll go ahead and open up both since this one is clearly having some issues here. So inside the box, we get the BEACN Mix itself and a, once again, nicely spiraled up here USB-C to Type A cable. It's interesting that with the mic, they included a big O USB-C to C cable and then an A adapter, whereas the Mix, they just go straight C to A. Don't know what the decision making behind that is. Here we have the BEACN Mix and all of its screen has come apart. Glory. Oh, and there's, oh no, there's not. Looks like there's just a little bit of adhesive around the sides that holds it in place. So that's obviously just like a screen front or screen protector and not the screen itself. All right, I'll have to get that fixed up later, but you can see here, this is a lovely little, and it's super minimal audio controller. So we've got 4 knobs. They also click in and a screen. And then it just connects via USB-C on the back here. And that is some gnarly adhesive. Keep in mind, these are pre-retail units. So this is an audio controller. Let's take a look at the BEACN Mix Create so I can explain some of the differences. And hopefully that one arrived in better condition. And this one I received in white. Just wanted a variety of the different colors to choose from. Since I'm getting multiple products, I can usually only show you one of the colors. So this one is a little bit bigger. It has a button for each dial as well as the clickable dial and then page buttons. And then I think that's just like a mute button or a stream button. And once again, just USB Type-C on the back. So these are not mixers. These are not audio mixers. They're not audio interfaces. They contain no audio inputs. They just connect over USB-C to your computer and control the audio that's on your computer. Now, from what I understand, the BEACN Mix itself is more like the PC Panel or the PC Panel Pro, which is just a USB audio controller that controls your different programs or what audio devices in Windows and just lets you control the volume. Which if you, whether you're a content creator or not, if you want easy access like volume control and feedback of what is running on your system, this is the device for you and it's liable to be a lot cheaper for it. The Mix Create, however, is more designed for actual content creators and streamers. So you still have 4 knobs and they click in and then you get buttons for them, but you also get pages. So you can keep cycling through pages of different devices. This one allows you to set up virtual audio devices like the Elgato Wave, the Elgato Wave XLR, the Go XLR, virtual audio devices to actually route your individual audio channels through, and then you can control them from here as well. And I believe you can even assign separate programs to it. Like you can basically assign any audio device to these dials. Now, the cool thing with both of these is it's bring your own microphone. So since it's not an audio interface or anything like that, you can use any microphone you want. So they obviously want it to be paired with the microphone, the BEACN Mic, but you can use your own USB mic, XLR mic setup, anything you want, and just add it to this and map it to one of the dials or one of the pages and control it, which is pretty sweet. And then you have full control over your audio routing and things like that. And it even has submixes, which means you can separate your music for your stream, your voice chat, all of that, and have separate levels going to your headphones into your stream, which I think is really powerful. I still think they should have made one of these that was an actual XLR interface that contained the same DSP that the microphone has and all of these features, but currently they do not offer such a product, and honestly, that's fine. This is what they're launching with. Like I said, I find the Mix Create to be a more compelling offer, but depending on the price difference, a lot of people might be more compelled to pick up the basic Mix. Now, just a nice little LCD screen. I'm not sure off the top of my head if it's touch, and I can't show you, the software or anything just yet to confirm that, but lovely little controller display. And from what they've shown on Twitter, you have some full customizability of different skins and things like that for how the software looks, which is awesome. It'll still be a few weeks till I can get a full review of these devices to you, but I wanted to go ahead and get a hands-on first look to you as soon as possible now that I've been told that I was able to, because these products are going to be great, and I think at least the microphone is going to be pretty game-changing for the scene. And honestly, I made the joke towards the start of the video that they went from Go XLR to Go USB, but that is kind of what they're doing here. And honestly, I think it's really cool. The Go XLR was kind of the entry point, even though it was expensive. The Go XLR Mini was less so, but like it was an entry point for many streamers who wanted an easy setup, but wanted more control and wanted to join the ranks of people using XLR microphones. The Go XLR was a great device that really changed the game for that. But not everyone needs XLR audio devices, and realistically there doesn't need to be there isn't an inherent quality difference between what you can get over USB or XLR, especially since your audio interfaces are going to be USB anyway. And so if the microphone pulls off high quality audio over USB and they get this audio controller going, they have simplified the workflow even more because you need fewer cables. You just have your microphone, your headphones, and this. So I'm very interested. I'm super bummed. I think bare minimum they needed a headphone output on this. Like running a set of headphones from your microphone just sucks, and being able to run it from this thing as your all-in-one controller probably would have been pretty cool. So I'm still bummed at the lack of I/O here. I hope they make a more full-fledged kind of audio interface at some point, but I am very stoked to start playing around with these once I get my hands on the software and really showing you what they can do in the full review. Hope you enjoyed today's unboxing. If you are interested in more content like this, I have a second channel called Stream Guides. It will be linked down below, and it's the channel where I post clips from streamer news and extra unboxings and things like that. And more of my unboxing-like content will be posted over there. So go give that a subscribe if you're interested. I don't usually post unboxings on this channel, but I wanted to show you BEACN as soon as possible. Hit the like button, go subscribe to that channel if you're interested, and remember, be kind, rewind.